Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra, and since it's getting very close to the end of the year, I want to check in on my main tarot goal with you. Partway through the year, I decided to retry the idea of going deep with things, depthier, and I really set the goal that I wanted to get to know my decks. I wanted to stop buying as many decks. Spoiler, that hasn't really happened, but I want to get much more intentional. I want to know my decks. I want to know what place they have in my collection. I really like having tarot decks with a purpose in my collection. Like, I use the Witch's Wisdom for my Wheel of the Year readings. I use my Starseeker Tarot for working with astrology. I like having specific things I do. I like having set practices that keep me using my decks on semi-regular basis. Like the Witch's Wisdom I use once a month. The Starseeker Tarot I use at least once a month, most of the time more. There's a lot in my collection that I don't have any consistent use with, and there's a lot of decks that I still really don't know. So with that in mind as my tarot goal for the year, and with there only being a quarter of the year left, I have picked 4 decks that I really want to spend the rest of the year getting to know. One a month, roughly. I don't think these are the only decks I'm necessarily going to be working with, but they're 4 that I want to focus on getting to know for the remainder of the year. Okay, in no particular order, the first one we have is my Tarot of Vampires. This was a gift from Barb. I did do an unboxing of it. It's up above in the cards, and this is a box that I made for it. Barb included this little jar with garnet chips. I added some rose petals. This deck, oh boy. And I think perhaps I've just been maybe waiting because Halloween season. I adore this deck. I'm so glad I have it. Let me zoom in a little. Shoop. There. I'm so glad I have it. I like the cardstock, even though it is glossy. That doesn't bother me much. It's a Llewellyn deck. It's by Ian McDaniels. It has this really thick, incredible, juicy guidebook. I'm extremely excited for this deck. And for some reason, this deck to me feels very intuitive. I think because I feel a lot of emotion from this deck. I just haven't spent time with it. And it is one of the newer decks in my collection. But I still want to get to know it. And especially October's coming up. I'm very much wanting to see if I can't make friends with this deck before then. Because I'd like to use it. I don't know all the ways, like, look at that. It's hot. It's a sexy deck. I don't know all the ways I want to get to know it. But basically what I determine with my decks is what place do they sit? How do I use them? I have some decks that I just kind of use for whatever, like my This Might Hurt Tarot. I know I can pick that up for anything. I can use it for client work. I can use it for myself. It's just always there for me. Whereas my Starseeker, I know I can use that for anything as well, but I also have a very specific purpose I use it for. Whereas my Witch's Wisdom, which is I know it's an example I use a lot, that I use specifically for something. The Tarot of Vampires, which I'm going to shuffle, I haven't determined yet if I'm going to have a specific way of using it or a specific time to use it. I haven't determined that yet. So, and in order to do that, I need to slow down and spend some time with it. And that is what I want to do. I do know that this is one of the decks I am planning to use for when I do Lisa's Intuitive Tarot course, which I am taking. That's Lisa Papez, if you're unfamiliar. Her channel is linked up above in the cards. Actually, specifically, the video where she launched it is linked up above in the cards. I am taking that course, and I know that this is one of the 2 decks I am planning to use in that course. I don't know if I'm going to use others. I know that this is one of the ones I do want to use. And I also know I want to read the guidebook. I'm currently rebuilding my schedule to allow for more things in my life. And reading is one of them. So check back in at the end of the year, and hopefully I'll be able to tell you that I learned what I want to use that for. But this is the first one that I want to spend some time getting to know for the remainder of 2022. Let's just tuck this baby away. And it's very precious to me. I don't know why, but it is already, which is hence this big beautiful box, which I've made. Well, I decorated. Anyways, that's the first one. The second one, oh, sorry if you hear that gurgling, my dishwasher's going. The second one is my Little Odd Tarot. So, this puppy, so this is the Kickstarter of the Little Odd Tarot. I did not kickstart it. I purchased it from someone who decided it wasn't for them. And I really like the art style. I just haven't spent time with it. I think it would be really good maybe in the later part of the year, maybe in the winter. Something about just the stark colors makes me think maybe winter. I'm truly not sure. There is a little guidebook. Oh, it seems pretty cool. I really haven't spent much time checking this out at all since I received it. So I just want to do that because I know, especially like this one, I feel the need to determine, because I know that this is a deck that many people want, and so far it's only been available through Kickstarter. The second Kickstarter just ended, and I don't know if it's going to be available again. I don't know how I'm going to go about getting to know this one. This cardstock it feels really good this way, but then when I put it to Bridget, it's not, it feels weird. It kind of like slides. Anyway. That's better. One more. So that's the Little Odd Tarot. The third deck that I really want to get to know is my Lilafur Tarot. I got this. I saw it and I really wanted it. I was mesmerized by the backs, but I wasn't sure about this art. Something about it is so cool and yet a little creepy. And then the astrology got me. and I love it. I love it so much. It's very, very, very not your typical deck images, though. I have used this in a client reading, and I told the client that I had a deck that I kind of wanted to use, but I hadn't used it before, and they agreed. They really wanted me to use it, and that reading went really well. I love how colorful this is. I love how weird it is. It's again another very evocative deck. I love that it has two extra cards, Lilith and Lucifer, which is why it's the Lilafur, those two combined. I just simply haven't spent a lot of time with it. Actually, I could try this with the Intuitive Tarot course as well. If you'd be interested in a video where I share the final decision, the decks I chose to use in going through the Intuitive Tarot course, then please let me know in the comments down below. I've thought about it, but I'm just not sure if it's an interesting idea. I think it's interesting. I just am not sure if it would be interesting for you all here on YouTube. So if it is, let me know. Another thing I really love about this is the size. I really, really, really like this size portable kind of deck. Like, this is like my favorite, and I actually really like the cardstock. I think I heard somewhere that some people don't, but I do. I really want to get to know this, and I'm not sure how I will. That's my biggest problem with anything is that, oh look, the king and the queen together. My biggest problem with anything is that the way for me to really get to know something, I would argue that for anyone, is to kind of slow down, sink into it, focus. And those are things that I have a lot of trouble with. Slowing down, not very much my thing. Love this Emperor. Focusing is something that is a struggle for me. I love this. This is, I think, the Ace of Wands, or maybe the Page. No, I don't think it's the Page because it doesn't say it. Oh wait, it might be. I don't recall. That's the other thing that I admit is a bit of a struggle with this deck, is that, no, this is the Ace. It's not always super clear what the cards are. So it takes some pausing. Like, this has got a K beside it, so I know this is the King of Pentacles. Normally there's some sort of an indicator, but I was just on that one and there was nothing. Or see, I think that's a trouble that a few people have had with this deck, is it's a bit inconsistent like that. Like this is the Four of Cups because there's 4 cups, but it doesn't say anything. Whereas this one has the number 7 on it. And that's fair. I agree that it is confusing like that. I think this is the Ace of Swords. I actually, looking at it and thinking on it, I think that's a big stopping point. Do you have this deck? If you do, I'd love to hear about it. Or did you have this deck? Did you struggle with it because of the like that sometimes it would say a number, like here there's 3 wands, it says a 3 down here, but I mean a fancy 3. But was that something that was a struggle for you? I would love to hear about it. Either way, this is a deck that I want to try and get to know. I love the weird art. And I say weird as like the biggest compliment. I'm just not, and I love the backs so much. I'm just not 100% sure on it, how to use it, how to get to know it. I'm not sure if this is going to end up being for me. I think so. I love the size. I don't want to get rid of it. I love it. I'm just a little unsure. So I would like to spend some time trying to become more sure. And then the last deck that I really want to spend some time getting to know at the end of this year is my Ellis Tarot. Oh gosh, I love this deck. I love it so wholeheartedly. I love it. And I want to get to know it. That's why it's here. It has such a cool art style. And the cardstock is nice, and this gold gilding is stunning. And I know what all the cards are, which is helpful. The rods are literally my favorite. This death card is terrifying in the best possible way. It is just so good. Just so good. I really want to get to know this one. I'd love to have a good oracle to pair it with. I think, I know also, like, I like to pull this deck for myself because it feels like me. This is, like, I would never get Alice in Wonderland themed decks. They're not my thing. But this is that kind of world for me. So where Alice in Wonderland is this world for people that's kind of trippy, magical, and weird, and terrifying all at once, that's what the Ellis deck world is for me. Look at this, 3 of rods. And it's just something that I want to get to know. I don't have any ideas of how to off the top of my head. So that's another thing you could share in the comments. Let me know in the comments down below. What are your favorite ways of getting to know tarot decks? Bonding with tarot decks, determining, like, do you do deck interviews? I used to do deck interview spreads, but I stopped. I've used this one a few times on when I had my Patreon open. I switched my Patreon over to be a YouTube membership, so there's a join button you can check out. I use this a lot for, I use this a few times for my monthly reading with them. But I'm not sure. I just want to get to know it. And I do kind of feel like perhaps it wasn't the right time of year. Certain decks just feel more alive in my hands certain times of year. Maybe it's because only in that time of year do I get into the headspace. So this feels like a very fall deck to me. Like, it doesn't always have fall colors, but the fall energy I feel very strongly in this deck. And I think that's that magic, whimsical kind of energy. And that is the Ellis Tarot. So that's it. Those are my 4 decks that I really want to get to know with the remaining months of this year of 2022. I'm excited. I just really like working on making sure my collection doesn't just sit there looking pretty, right? Like, I love things that sit and look pretty. I'd rather use my crystal collection for a sit and look pretty energy. My tarot decks I want to use. So I'm really been trying to work on my discernment and cultivation. And I also just really don't like the flow in and out of things where, like, I buy something and because I've been impulsive and I realize it's not for me. Like, I'm fine with that sometimes. I'm not okay with the way it's been balanced for a while. The process of buying decks has felt imbalanced for me. So I'm trying to fix that and really look at things more carefully. So that's it. Let me know if you have any decks that you still really want to study and get to know before the end of the year. Let me know in the comments down below. And otherwise, this is where I'm going to leave you. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to let me know if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you can come on back nice and easily. Down by the subscribe button, there is now a join button where you can join and check out my channel membership and check out the tiers for more videos. We do live streams, all sorts of fun stuff there. I'm super, super, super excited about. And my favorite, or one of my favorite parts, is we're doing with one of the tiers, Gamer Ghosts and Up, we do a quarterly D&D game, so that way folks who want to try D&D have a safe space in which to do it. We're going to be doing our first one in October. I'm very excited about it, so check that out. And I guess that's it. Yes. Oh, wait, no. In the description box, you can find a link to my website where you can book a reading with me. I do tarot and astrology readings, and I combine the two together. And my email, so you can email me if you have any questions or requests about my work here. You know, just anything. If you need me, you can find me through there. And I'm going to let you go here, and I will see you again very soon. Lots of love. Bye.